Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant, this is Elite Dangerous, and today I'm going to show you how to use the Galaxy map to find trade routes. But first, I'm off to buy a Lakon Type 6.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
So the stations look a lot better in Beta 1, that's for sure. The lighting's much improved, and so far I'm really enjoying everything. The Hauler's quite a good ship, so if you can manage to get one, they're actually quite cheap now. They're only around about 20,000 credits. You can actually use them to make yourself quite a lot of money. So what I'll do in a little bit is I'll show you how to go through the Galaxy map and use it to locate trade routes. This will be good enough to use if you've only got a Sidewinder, and if you can afford a Hauler then even better, but you'll certainly be able to use a Sidewinder to earn enough to get yourself a Hauler. That shouldn't be a problem. So the place around here to get hold of a Type 6 Lakon is Allin, and I've got to do 2 jumps to get there. That's through Ibootes and then to Allin. I think the ship's actually around about, approaching 200,000 credits, so it's fairly expensive, but it's a very good stopgap between that and the Lakon Type 9. The Type 6 actually has 100 units of cargo capacity, and once you've got enough credits to actually fill that to the maximum, you'll be able to make some very profitable runs. My plan, as usual, so far in beta, is to amass as many credits as I can, and which will allow me to swap and change ships as I please. I'm really looking forward to trying out the Viper. I actually loved the Eagle in Premium Beta 2. I used to love zipping around in that and trying out all the combat zones, and as the Viper's going to be a lot faster, I think I'm going to enjoy that quite a lot. And so my plan will be just to go around and explore. There's a lot of systems to explore now. One thing I really do like that they've added in is the ability to explore the system you're in. Now, one of my favourite games of all time for exploration was Skyrim, and the reason for that is because it was very open. You could leave a city and just choose any direction at random and head off, and if you kept running, sooner or later you'd come across something. Maybe it'd be a dungeon, maybe it'd be a cave, or maybe it'd be an old ruin, and sometimes it wouldn't turn out to be much, or sometimes you'd go into an old abandoned building and underneath the floorboards you'd find a treasure box filled with something either mundane or something that would lead on to a rather large quest. Now, what was good about that is that there was no quest markers, there was no hand holding. It was just a case you were presented with this vast open world and you could walk out into it and find your own adventures, and that's fantastic. And to be honest, there's not that many games that take that sort of approach to exploration, but it does seem like Elite is going to be aiming for that. Now, if you haven't noticed, what you can do when you're flying around a system in Super Cruise, and we may see one or two here, what will actually happen is that every so often you'll get a little circle on your HUD appear and in your window here, and that will be an unidentified signal. And what you can do, you can head to them and they'll actually be something randomly spawned just for you. It could be a pirate ship, it could be a conflict going on, it could even be a load of abandoned canisters. I've actually dropped out of Super Cruise and found a dozen canisters of gold which are just there to be scooped up, and this is actually a very good start, I feel, to exploration in Elite. And as time goes on, I'm sure Frontier are going to improve that aspect of the game, and I really do look forward to getting into those sort of zones, those unidentified signals, on just going out and exploring the universe and finding things. Now, another nice change in beta, and one that I initially thought was unintended, but after looking around it seems the developers fully intended this functionality, is that if you boost and then immediately go into flight assist off, your ship does not decelerate, and in fact you'll reach your ship's maximum velocity and then maintain that, as you can see I'm doing here. And that's brilliant for a slow ship like a hauler, which only has a maximum usual travelling speed of around about 180 with only 2 pips in the engine. I can actually boost, switch flight assist off, and get up to full acceleration of 300 meters a second. The only thing you've got to be careful of is make sure you slow down enough in order to dock. You don't really want to be shooting through the docking hatch at 300 meters a second unless you're a very good pilot and you can be sure that there's not going to be anyone on the other side that's going to be there to crash into. So landing pad 16. So the Lakon Type 6 is actually quite a lot smaller than the Lakon Type 9. The Lakon Type 9's got a cargo hold of 440 units. The Lakon Type 6 has got 100 units, but that's actually a lot more than what I've got in this hauler, which is only 16 units. So I should be making quite some good money with it, although I'm actually reaching the threshold of the amount of money I actually want before I go off on my elite adventures. So here we are, welcome to All In Enterprise. Let's have a look here. I'm going to buy some fuel. I'll just do that out of habit. I hate to get out in space and find I haven't got enough. Let's have a look at the shipyard. Let's first get rid of this heatsink though. It's a few thousand credits back. If you've noticed, you actually get the full amount returned now on your outfitted items when you sell them, rather than a percentage. So the Lakon Type 6 is 183,000, and that's with a trade-in value of around about 22,000 for the hauler I've got. I'm also glad to notice this standby time is greatly reduced. This really used to be edge of the seat stuff back in the previous betas, when it used to take a couple of minutes for the transaction to complete. There we go, a Lakon Type 6. Now you may have noticed, those of you that have seen Lakon Type 9s in my previous videos, that the cockpit here is very similar. I'm not going to equip too much on it. I just like to have a heatsink to cool the engines down if I need to. But yes, as I was saying, the cockpit in the Type 6 is very similar to that of the Type 9. It's actually very large, and it just doesn't have the additional 2 seats to the left and right, and it doesn't have the bridge behind you. So what I'm going to do, I'm now going to go to the Galaxy map, and I'm going to show you how to use it to locate trade routes. Now there's a lot of lines here. These all represent my ship's jump radius, but there's a bit too many, so it actually makes it a bit too difficult to see anything, and it actually would make it too difficult to show you what I want to show you. So I'm going to switch these lines off, and that's under the navigation tab. Right, that's better. Now what you can see, I've got Aulin selected here, and you can see it tells me the economy type, which is actually high tech, and you can actually read some information about that there if you want. So what we want to look for is systems that could potentially trade with each other. Ibutis, as you can see, is industrial, and what we could potentially do there is industrial systems make machinery. We could buy machinery of some type and sell it to All-In, so that they can use that machinery to make their high-tech products. Now the thing you've got to be sure of is always, once you do find a potential trade route, you need to go to your destination system just to ensure that they do buy the products you're intending to sell to them. So say I went to iBooties and bought mineral extractors, I then need to go to All-in to ensure that they do buy them before I commit to the transaction. So let's look for some other systems here and find some sort of usable trade route. So here we can see Opala is an agricultural system, and that means they'll produce food. Most places will buy food. What you could do is buy fish or something like that and take that to back to iBooties, and then buy machinery at iBooties and take that to All-in. What have we got here? Got agriculture again, industrial, agriculture. There's a lot of agricultural systems. Extraction. Now extraction sites are quite good. They extract minerals from asteroids or planets, and you can sell them to refineries, which they'll use the extracted ore to smelt into metal, and there you go. There's a refinery system. So we've got LHS 3006, which is extraction. We've got Acuit. I'm not very good at the pronunciations here, which is refinery. That means you can take the minerals from LHS to here and sell the minerals to Acuit. And you could buy metals there and take them to Nang, because Nang would buy metals to use in their industrial machineries. And then you could probably buy machinery at Nang and take them back to LHS, mineral extractors perhaps, or something like that. So we've potentially got a 3-system trade route here. What we're going to have to do is go there to be sure. So one other thing that's been added to beta that's not entirely obvious is that you can double click on any system within your jump radius, and that will be made a destination. So when we leave here we should see that that system is actually our target destination. Your jump radius will vary depending on what ship you've got. Your jump radius will also vary depending on how much cargo you've got loaded. Basically, the lighter your ship is, or the lower your ship's mass, the further you can jump. So it is fuel dependent, but it's also mass dependent. So the greater the weight or the greater the mass of your ship, the less distance you'll be able to jump. I believe the Lakon Type 6 here can jump somewhere in the region of 14.5 to 16 light years in one jump. So I'm not sure how far away this system's going to be, but we're going to need to head there just to check what they do sell, and then we can go on our way to completing our trade route. So 11.5 light years, we'll be able to make that in a single jump in this ship. If you're in a Sidewinder, you're going to have to use the galaxy map to find an alternate route to that, and it may take you 3 or 4 jumps to get there, but the result should be worth it. A hauler probably won't be able to make this in a single jump either, but almost certainly could make this in 2 jumps. So Acuit is a extraction site, or an extraction system, or was this one refinery system? Oh, we'll have a look when we get there. But basically what the idea would be is, if you're in a system that is a refinery system, that means they produce metals, they refine minerals that have been extracted from asteroids or planets or moons. They take those minerals and refine them into metals. Those metals are then used to produce machineries and technology, things like that. So you could take the metals and sell them in another system that produces machinery. So basically you don't need a large price list on the marketplace. All you need is the galaxy map, and you just need to find systems that have a connection to each other, a potential trade connection to each other, and then make that trade yourself. And that's actually one of the fun things about this game. something I actually enjoy doing, drilling down and finding this information and finding what works and what doesn't work. And yes, sometimes it does take quite a bit of time, and often it's not all that simple, but when you do find a trade route that no one else is using, it's such a rewarding feeling, and it can net you a huge amount of money. So we're nearly here at Sufi plant, and we'll have a look what minerals they've got available, or what metals they've got available. Quite nice. I haven't been interdicted yet. At the moment they're really not much of a threat because you can just boost away, and I'm going to overshoot the mark again, something I have a bad habit of doing. Let's accelerate up. I'm probably a bit close to that planet, or that moon behind me there. It's taken me a little bit of time to speed up. Might have been a little bit faster than this, but we get there. 20,000 kilometers. Now, if you want to arrive at the station so that you're facing the entrance, one thing you can try for is to get inside the ring here and approach the station with the planet behind you, and more often than not you'll find that you're in front of the station with the entrance facing towards you rather than being behind the station, and that can make docking a little bit easier and a little bit less tedious. But here the opposite's happened. I'm going to actually boost down to there again using the new technique from Beta 1. Boost, flight assist off, boost again, and there we go, 350 meters a second. It's a nice speed. The Cobra only does 400, so for a trade ship this is quite nippy. It actually turns quite a bit faster than the Lakon Type 9 as well, which is nice. I think that ship moves a little bit like a cow, very slow but also tough as old nails. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but what I do use a lot is the vertical thrusters and the lateral thrusters. I use these a lot in order to dock, and I find this great because I can always orientate my ship toward my destination, and here I can just use the down thrusters, so I'll slowly orientate toward the station here and use the downward thrusters, and this just saves me so much messing around with trying to align myself to the entrance here. And now you can see I'm almost perfectly aligned, so it's just a case of now refining my approach a little bit, but I'm more or less perfectly aligned to go in the entrance there, and I can do that without having to slow down too much. There we go. So docking pad 35, hopefully it's not right below me. I do dislike trying to land on the landing pads that are immediately by the entrance. Oh, and look, it's right below me. But the Lakon ships are great. You can see down there where you want to land, and that makes a fantastic difference to your approach to the landing pad. There we go, we can see we're almost entirely aligned here. Very nice. You know, I just love these stations. Look at the lighting. They're great. I don't know if you guys have seen the luxury stations yet, the ones with the trees and palm trees in. There's one in System Weird, which is fairly nearby. If you get a chance, be sure to check it out. So what we're going to do is going to go to the commodities market here, and that will tell us what station type this is. I can't remember if it was extraction or refinery. Be sure to refuel every time you land. Okay, so what have we got here? Okay, it's refinery and extraction. Well, that means they won't actually be that interested in purchasing minerals from the station, the system that was nearby, that was LHS 3006, because they actually make their own minerals. But what we've got here is metals. We've got copper, indium, aluminium, uranium, lithium and titanium. So with lithium here, we can make, if you look at the galactic average over there on the right, that's around about 400 credits profit per unit. Now hopefully the station over, Nang, should be paying a little bit higher than that. Now the thing you should really do is go there first, just to double check that, but I'm going to take the chance. I've got 1 million credits here, as you see, so it's a chance I can afford to take, but it's not a chance you should take if you're unaware of what the station's going to take. I might get there and lithium might be something they don't want to buy, but I chose lithium because it's only 1,000 credits. The other metals there were 6,000 and 5,000 credits, and if you look to the galactic average, I would have generally made only the same amount of profit on them as I can make with lithium. So lithium's actually a much lower risk. If I smash my ship and happen to lose my cargo, which I could have done then, so Nang being an industrial system, they will buy metals, that's a certainty, there's absolutely no doubt about that. It's just what's in question is which metals they will buy. So as I said, generally you'll find the systems that you want to trade between on your galaxy map. We found a refinery system and an industrial system here. You'd then go to the refinery system, have a look at what they sell. You then go to the industrial system, in this case Nang, have a look at what they buy, and then commit yourself to the trade route. Come back to the system here, buy the metals that you know they're going to actually buy in, that's in demand at Nang, and then take them there. In this case we've got lithium, and I'm fairly confident they will want lithium, and we know that it's certain they're going to pay the galactic average for it, and if it's in demand they'll almost certainly pay 1,400 for it. Sometimes that actually does go lower if this is a well-travelled route, but this early in beta that's unlikely. So it's almost certain the case we'll get 400 credits profit per unit here, and if we're lucky we'll get a bit more. So with a cargo hold of 100 units, that's actually quite a hefty profit, but it's actually not a bad profit even in a Sidewinder. It will actually within a few runs give you enough money to buy yourself a hauler, and when you've got a hauler that's 16 units per trip, and you'll be making yourself a tidy sum there. It won't be long at all before you're in a Glacon or a Cobra or a Viper or whatever ship you wish to buy. Now another tip, always try and ensure you've got enough money to cover a replacement ship before you commit to buying that ship. So when I bought the hauler was around about 22 or 23,000. I had to be sure that I had enough money left over to cover the replacement ship, which in that case was 10% of the ship's value. Insurance is 10% of the value of the current ship, plus an additional 10% to cover the loadout. So if your loadout's worth 10 grand or 10,000, you'll need 10% of that to rebuy your loadout. So the minimum you'll need to replace a hauler is around about 2,200 or 2,300. I'd need around about 18 to 19,000 to replace this ship in the event I happen to lose it. So you need to make sure you've got that. You need to make sure you've got enough money to buy for a loadout, and you need to make sure you've got enough money to keep trading. It's no good buying a trade ship and having no money left to trade with. So we're nearly here at our destination, and it's gone surprisingly well with interdictions. We haven't had any. Makes a pleasant change, doesn't it? Although I'm actually hoping I get quite a few when I've got my combat ship. Again, we're going little bit slow. I think I've got caught in the gravity well a little bit. So it's just a case of keeping that in my targets here. I'm nearly there. 5,000, 4, 3, 2, 1. We can leave any second now. Now we jump. So hopefully, if we've got a particularly profitable run, the best runs you can trade in both directions, we don't really want to go back to argue it without anything. We don't really want to go there empty-handed. Now, this being an industrial station, they'll either have machinery or they'll sell something, domestic appliances, rather cheaply. And that'd be nice, because that gives us an item to take back. So we actually come out of Super Cruise facing the station entrance this time, which is nice. Just boost nicely along here. Nearly there. These station variations are fantastic to see. We've been stuck with the same couple of stations for quite a long time now, so seeing all these different stations is very nice indeed. And the grass and lush areas there on the rings have actually been quite improved this time. I'm actually not slowing down quite on time here, am I? It's going to be close call. We're through. Generally you want to slow down a little bit earlier than that. So docking pad 35 again. Let's get down there. A nice little look down there between our legs. That sounds bad, doesn't it? And we've nearly got touchdown. The interior of this system is a lot like the interior of this station actually. Is a lot like the previous one, isn't it? I like the black ones. Owlin, I think was a black one, wasn't it?
Successful. Engines disengaged.
Right, so station services. Fuel is our first stop, as always. And then commodities market. And let's see how much profit we can make per item. That's if they buy lithium. Let's hope they do. I'm sure they will. Lithium. And there we go. That's higher than the galactic average. 1,697 units, credits per unit. That's a profit of over 500 credits per unit. What's that give us a total? There you go. 56,000 credits profit. Now of course that's in a Lacon. Your mileage will vary depending on your Sidewinder or hauler. And let's see what else we can sell. Domestic appliances at 345. That's well below the galactic average. So anywhere is pretty much going to pay 448 for them. Maybe Actuate will pay 448. Maybe they'll pay a bit more. But either way, you've got a two-system run here. They take domestic appliances from here to Actuate and bring lithium from there back to Nang. And that will net you quite a bit of money, even if you're only using a Sidewinder. But I'm going to leave it here. That should be enough to give you the idea. So yeah, you basically use a galaxy map to find yourself your trade routes, and there's a vast number of them out there. Many of them totally untapped. There's so many people seem to be sticking to the starting systems. So there you have it. Let's see how much money you guys can make. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. This has been Obsidian Ant, signing off.